I wanted to answer this question because I've already answered it with them. They asked the question, what is the hardest part about starting a nonprofit? And, I really had to think about that because part of that question was, did you have to get rid of friends and things like that? And I thought it was a very interesting take and look at, when you're starting a nonprofit. So after I thought about it, there weren't really many hard pieces of creating a nonprofit. I mean, creating the nonprofit and doing all of the steps in the nonprofit were just something that I wish was more laid out, which is why I was creating that course. But in the end, no, the hardest part of the nonprofit truly is, number one, just understanding that you're on a journey. And number two is creating the space to create. So your nonprofit is like your baby. It's like your child, right? And so you want to raise it the best you can. And when you're in the starting phase and you're in the discovery phase, you're really trying to learn what it is that you're trying to create. You're trying to cast that vision, and then you're trying to make people understand what that vision is. So when you're in that phase of creating a vision and you're trying to see all the parts of your organization, because there's a lot of moving parts, right? It's like, where am I going to get the funds from? Who am I going to talk to about my organization? How is it going to be set up? If I get a new client, how do they go through the process? There's a lot of things you have to create when you're starting this whole nonprofit business. Now, even if you were starting a for-profit business, it's the same exact thing. You still have to find the space to create. So in this video, I guess, if I could just tell you one thing, I think, no, you don't have to lose friends to start your business. Can you potentially lose friends or alienate your friends or spend less time with your friends? Yes. But what that means is that you're just focusing on something different than you were focusing before, because the focus changes, right? So maybe before you were focusing on going out and having lunches and seeing people and hanging out late or whatever the case. But now you've decided to start a business and now you need to focus. And so the most important thing in my mind is really creating the boundaries in your life to provide you the space to create whatever that is. And that, I feel like, is the most important and hardest part of really starting anything when you're starting it on your own, because it's kind of, it can be a lonely journey when you're starting on entrepreneurship. And if you've seen my videos on the 10 things about entrepreneurship that no one tells you, that's one of the things I say. It's kind of lonely, right? You do it and it's fun while you're creating, but when you're actually working in it and on it, you're by yourself. Now, obviously, there are associations and groups and things that you can be part of, and so that's why I say it can be lonely. But you really need to focus on that creative space when you're trying to create, because that's when your creative juices are flowing, and it allows you to kind of walk through your program and really see, where some of the issues might arise or how you want to shape the program. And these cycles happen throughout your life of your nonprofit all the time. I mean, I've had my nonprofit for 5 years and I still go through lots of cycles like this where I'm thinking about where things could be different and how I should change things, and could the program be better, all these things. And so it's just giving yourself the space to actually create and think and focus. And so yes, sometimes you might alienate friends, and I do feel like that's probably the hardest part, because creating those boundaries can be tough. You have to tell your spouse, you have to tell your children, you have to tell your friends, you have to tell everyone that you need this space, when before, like 2 weeks ago, you were just fine hanging out with everybody, being part of boards and being part of all the things that you were a part of before this nonprofit idea or business idea came up. And it's okay to do that. Like, this is okay to do. My biggest tip on that would just be communicate. Communicate what you need. Communicate that during these hours, I really am working on something, a project, whatever it is. And generally people are very supportive, and they will give you that space and that time. And so I would say that creating the space is the hardest piece of starting a nonprofit or a business of any sort, and creating those boundaries within your life, so that you have that time and space to do what you need to do. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. If you're not part of the Socialife Tribe, what are you waiting for? Get over there. It's on Facebook. It's free. And we'd love to have you. And those are with other entrepreneurs with a purpose who are supporting each other. So we'd love to see you there. And also, if you're not part of the Socialife Diaries, come join us there as well. It's where I put in information about where I'm going to do a live training, or if we're doing a live hangout, or if the course is out, or any information like that. And then sometimes I give tips and tricks about things that I've learned, or my journey, or what you need to know for your nonprofit when you're running it and all of that. So yeah, come join us in those two places, and I'd love to have you there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.